children who have experienced trauma and to help prevent it in the future.
I think that the brain is really important in the process of healing from trauma. I think that the brain is really important in the process of a child improving their speech and language skills. I think the brain is important in a child who needs to get OT services because they're clumsy. I think the brain is the organ that we are trying to influence almost all of the time when we are intervening with children who've been impacted by developmental trauma. So early in life, when you're a newborn infant and you have not yet made sense out of the world, one of the major tasks that's taking place as the brain is organizing in the first 3 years of life is that your brain is making thousands upon thousands of simple, which simple associations are making a connection between a sound and an image, but also more complex associations where there's multiple sensory things that happen all at once. But the bottom line is this: your brain makes connections between patterns of neural activity that co-occur. This is one of the reasons, for example, that you can have a child who in the first year or two of life has very impaired caregiving. And the associations they make about caregivers are that people are not trustworthy. People let me down. People hurt me. And then like me. People are unpredictable. People are mean. But fundamentally, as you grow up, they get into an adoptive home where people don't let them down. People love them. People are consistent and predictable and all kinds of stuff. And there'll be repetition and repetition, 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 repetition. There'll be 35 repetitions, and the brain will be saying, I don't believe it, I don't believe it, I don't believe it, I don't believe it, I don't believe it. And ultimately, even part of what happens is the child will literally start to look for familiarity. The brain prefers what's familiar to what's good. So what will happen is this child will literally try to provoke from the environment what would be a predictable response. And so when they finally get this foster parent or adoptive parent to blow up, their brain says, see, I was right. People don't like me. People are unpredictable. People are mean. But fundamentally, as you grow up, the first experiences set the associations in your brain for what human interaction mean. And if you have a child who grows up in an environment that's heavily loaded with this, human relational interactions, rather than making you feel calm, safe, and soothed, literally can make you feel threatened.